What episode is this?
I believe this is 57. Welcome back to the Sorta Brothers podcast.
It's actually Valentine's Day. Last time you brought me a chocolate-covered strawberry. Did you bring me any today?
I did. I did not today.
Dang.
I didn't have any on just like on me, but
okay. I don't know if they were in your pocket or something. I did bring some of these. A little. How would you pronounce that?
True-fru?
True-fru.
Is that not how you pronounce it?
Do you know what this is called? The two dots over the letters?
I have no clue. I couldn't tell you what the little like swoosh line over different Spanish words are either. That's what that reminds me of.
Like an accent or an tilde?
Yeah, the swoosh is a tilde.
And a tilde?
Is tilde.
Matilda? Remember
it's
that
a
movie?
Matilda, I think.
It's a Matilda. Was Matilda the one with the superpowers? Like the mind control?
Kinda, yeah.
No, that was...
Also,
that was
what was
Professor
that
X.
movie? The movie was like a normal... It was like a normal story about this little girl, and then all of a sudden she just has like superpowers. That makes no sense.
These are
Anyway,
dark chocolate-covered raspberries.
Ooh, dark chocolate?
Megan bought them for me, and I'm sharing. Megan just took a bite. Do we approve?
Oh, pretty good.
I will say, for some reason, I expected the raspberry, to not be so dry in the middle. It's like a freeze-dried
Yeah,
raspberry.
it says that they're freeze-dried.
You've had True-Fru stuff before, right?
Hyper-dried.
Hyper-dried.
What's the difference in that? Huh?
You've had True-Fru stuff before, right?
No.
You haven't?
Have you?
I have. So I'll tell you.
I think that's called an umlaut, by the way. Just circling back on that and wrapping that up, and we can move on.
You just looked that up?
No, I knew that. From like typography.
So it just came to you randomly?
Well, I was going to say it, and then we got off.
You said like 3 different things before that. Anyway, True-Fru makes frozen ones. They're way better.
Like you have to buy them out of the freezer section?
Yes.
They're way better?
I would agree.
I think these are good.
This is
Megan
the first
bought
time
them for me.
I've only had the...
Because Megan bought them for you? That's why you think they're good?
This imagery feels a little suggestive or romantic, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's great packaging. I do think the frozen ones are better, though.
I've not had it. I do think sometimes... Go ahead, actually.
I was just going to say, I think I've only had the frozen bananas in
Those
chocolate.
are good.
That'd be good.
The frozen, I mean, honestly,
Which then I was like, these are good, but I could make these myself very easily. Like bananas in chocolate.
I like all of them. I get the strawberry ones a lot. I had blueberry ones the other day. Were super cool. But
is there something scientific to freezing something that brings out different flavors?
I think it
like does something to the sugar in it or something. Because like frozen blueberries, frozen grapes. You ever eat
it
frozen
definitely
grapes?
happens. With
I'm not a
grapes.
huge fan of frozen grapes.
Oh really?
Yeah, but honestly, I'm not a huge fan of grapes. I love fruit. Like I love fruit, but grapes are on the bottom of the list probably.
Really?
Not the very bottom. What
about green grapes?
Not the very bottom. I like green grapes better.
Yeah, see that I like green grapes.
I kind of think I don't like green grapes better. You know what I used to be into that now I'm like, I don't even think about eating that, is a green apple. Do they even still sell those?
Yes. It's just too sour.
I don't know, dude. I never even think about it.
I don't either. The average person isn't just thinking about a green apple.
We used to have this tool when I was young at our house that was like a vice. You like latch it onto the edge of the counter like that, and then it had these prongs that you would jam an apple into, and then you spin it, and it would skin the apple, but like in strips where we would eat the strips too, like the skin, and then you have like a soft inside of an apple.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, that was a cool thing.
I have one.
Here?
There you go.
Yeah.
You have one.
I bought one
Let's go.
Did I make cinnamon? I think I made cinnamon apples. And I, like, you know, like how mom used to make where they're like, because hers, like, it can skin them, but it can also slice them.
Right.
Like spiral slice, kind of. Like core it and, like, do that. And so that's what I used it for, to make cinnamon apples once.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of buying things, I treated you to a little something this week.
Treated me?
I surprised you with something for the garage.
Yeah.
Give me the emotions that went through your body when you realized it was happening.
Well, first of all, let's start from the beginning. Blake, I believe he texted me a picture, and it was a picture of the garage gym and the garage.
You standing next to
the garage gym had a cable machine inside of it, and I was like running as I like saw the picture. I was working on my laptop at the time, and I was like
trying to make excuses,
trying to think about how that could have happened, because the day prior we were like Blake was talking about getting it, not getting it, and we were just like saying random stuff about it, and I was like, there's no way you put it together that fast. I don't know how, like, and I thought, I don't know if he was, anyway, I was like racking my brain, but long story short, I fully believed that Blake now had a cable machine. Come to find out, he FaceTimes me and says that was just like some augmented reality like rendering, and where
it was pretty good.
It was, dude, where the site can show you how the cable machine is going to look, where you're going to put it, that kind of thing. Anyway, looked so freaking real, was insane. But then also come to find out, apparently he actually did purchase it. It just won't be here for months.
Which is, I guess I'm happy and sad about that, because I'm sad. They said it's going to take 3 to 4 months to get here. That's a long time. The reason I like it is because it's all made to order, and they make everything in-house in the U.S. So you know everything's quality controlled. So I'm okay with it taking a long time because of that. But, yeah, it was kind of... it'll be nice because we'll have it going right into summer. But I'm also just not the most patient person.
Yeah. So. Yeah, why is it taking them 3 to 4 months? Is it just demand?
Well, it's like a brand new product. And so I think it's they don't have like a backlog of stuff created. Plus, it's all custom. Like, I picked the height, I picked the color, I picked like a bunch of different components of how I wanted things to be, like rack depth and stuff. And so
I didn't know
they don't have like all of that probably just like created like that. Plus, like the cables that they make and everything. So it probably just hasn't been out long enough to have like a backlog of where they can just put one together and ship it. But no, yeah, I would not have been able to put it together that fast. You're going to have to come over, because everything I've seen, it's new. So there's like not many videos online of this version, but other versions people have put together. They're like, the process of putting it together is really smooth and well done, but it's still like, you know, a good like 4 hours to put this thing together with a couple people. So we'll make it happen.
Jeez.
Maybe we'll do a little product review of it, since there's none online.
Yeah, we're the first like tutorial.
Posted on the random Sorta Brothers account.
That's what blows up, is just the tutorial for that.
Yeah.
Actually, I would not think that would blow up, because I feel like your market for that is smaller than a podcast. Do you agree?
Probably smaller than a podcast, maybe. But I also think your market is bigger than people that just want to buy that. There's people that are interested in what Rogue's coming out with that would never spend the money on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I watch random YouTube videos all the time. Meg and I were joking last night that I'm like, I don't know how we got into this conversation of me just, I'm becoming like an old dad, and I hang out with you guys. You and Ethan. Ethan's not that much younger than me, but he's just like into TikTok and stuff, and I just feel like a freaking old man sometimes. And you guys are like the other day, you guys were trying to clown me because you said that I was trying to listen to what Ethan said, and I apparently went like this.
Oh, yeah,
it's so funny. Like I have a bad ear, but I don't.
I will say I was the one who called that out. It was actually hilarious. So I yeah, Ethan. I think Ethan said something. He was talking, right? Ethan was talking. Yeah, and Blake literally said, "I don't know if you were trying to like act like what'd you say like with attitude or something," but he was like, Ethan was saying he was like, "What'd you say?" And he like turned his head towards us. It's like, you have a bad ear.
No, we were talking about it because you said you were tapping your feet to the music. And you revved the car.
We were just driving, and I was just like on the pedals, like going like this, and the car was just like vroom. At one point, I was like, "Oh, my bad." And then we joked about how your dad always like when we
drums
would go
on
on
the
vacation or whatever, and like he'd be driving the van, or not even vacation, just anywhere, and he would kind of always like drum on the steering wheel or something.
Oh, and if that makes you an old dad, then I'm an old dad. I'm not like that. I
was just like, that's what I thought of. I was like, I'm just becoming a dad. And then I was like, and I also just like think construction projects are fun around the house, but I'm not like a professional at that. But I just like watch like drywalling videos.
Yeah, that part's weird.
And like different videos of like people building the wall. It's surprising, I think, growing up how little you live in a house your whole life. You have no idea how anything's made. Do you have any idea what it looks like behind these walls?
I do a little bit.
I know, but I didn't know really. Like, and then it's just interesting to get to find out, you know? Because I hire
these walls are more simple.
people to do these build walls or doors for me upstairs, and then I'm like watching them do it, and I'm like, I could have freaking done this. You know what I mean? I definitely could have done that. That's been a whole ordeal, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying. I don't know why I never expected to be super interested in drywall or, you know, like different.
Is it just drywall? You keep saying drywall.
I got it down a pretty big rabbit hole. Most of my YouTube suggested videos are like, here's how you arch a doorway with You
just watch how to arch a doorway with drywall?
Yeah. Yep. So I still watch golf stuff.
Also, I wouldn't say
now it might flip back to gym equipment.
I wouldn't say you're becoming an old dad, but I will say something that would make people think that kind of thing is just if you're not on social media a lot, which is not a bad thing, obviously. But there have been times where you will send like Ethan and I something that's been in the media, just been in like the mass public for 5 years. And it was like super viral 4 years ago. And you're like, look at this is crazy.
Okay. Whatever.
You're not like actually, obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit. You're not actually like that, but like, dang, that's crazy.
It's a heart, Megan.
Megan, look.
Should I give it to you?
Right. But also, and we've probably talked about this on the podcast, Blake, when he does have Instagram, because sometimes he has it, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he's online and doesn't have the app. But when he'll just send me videos, doesn't say anything, and normally, if like a buddy sends me a video, I'll like respond to it in some way. Over the years, I've just stopped responding to Blake because I realize he doesn't even look back at the message.
I don't
think he ever even goes in the messaging tab. He just sends it and then walks away. And so there's no reason for me to do anything, for me to send a laughing emoji, for me to say, it was purely just, I'm gonna send this off to Justice and just hope he sees it. I don't know if he did or not.
If I go to, because I don't have the app right now. Thank you for noticing. If I go to Instagram on the web browser and look at my DMs here, see, like I'll try to like look at my DMs and then I see this and I'm like, wow, this is 2 artists turn trash into powerful shadow art masterpieces. Now I'm caught. Now I'm scrolling.
Okay, this is the problem though.
Look, I have 8 DMs, but that's just because it goes up to 8. And like these people send me multiple things. You're right. I mean, like I just see something funny and I want to spread joy, so I just send it and then that's it. I'll close out.
This is the problem though. People who delete social media, if you're going to delete social media and you're going to tell everybody that you're deleting social media, delete social media. In fact, the purpose for deleting social media is to not be on social media. How many times have I said social media? A lot.
Mm-hmm. Probably too much.
But that also means if you go on it online when you're bored one day, hey, guess what? You're looking at social media again.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have the app or not.
No, I do get that. But I do think not having the app is a deterrent from being on it as much, for sure.
Okay, I see that.
But yeah, I could just delete the whole thing. I made a joke the other day. I basically just post when I have a new child or get a new belt at jiu-jitsu now.
That is true.
So, which is like basically I post like 2 times every 2 years.
Your biggest achievements.
Yeah, those are the things I'm most proud of. My anniversaries with Megan, new babies, new belts.
That is interesting. Because you are somebody who people be like, oh, like, did you see this on Instagram? You're like, I don't have Instagram. But then like anniversary comes around and you're posting.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes Megan posts and Megan walked away, so we're not able to. But sometimes Megan posts about me, and then I'm like, what I do like now is the collab posts.
Yeah.
Because she posted that we were pregnant again, and I can just be tagged onto that. I don't feel like I gotta be like doing something. Anniversary, it's kind of tough because she's talking about me. So if it's a collab post, it kind of makes me look bad if I'm just like silent about it. Do you know
I don't know. I know. I see what you're saying, but
plus we hit like big milestones. It's like sometimes I think about because I don't have a huge following. So even if I get like 100 and some likes on something, it's not that big of a deal. Where like,
so why do you feel the pressure to post?
For me, I like having it in there where like, oh, one day I can go back and see these big milestones. And
so it's not.
It's more so for me, I think.
Because earlier you said, "Oh, it'd be weird if I didn't post anything." Because that's why I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
It's gonna make Megan feel weird. Like I didn't. Oh, you didn't post about me. I posted about you. You know.
Yes. Yeah, I never. Yeah, I guess so.
But
I've always been.
She also has never said that, so maybe I'm just like thinking that for some reason.
Maybe
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I need to delete it. This is how I know. This is probably the biggest tell that I'm just kind of morphing into a dad. Is that my main source of scrolling on social media is Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
Not even like.
I was about to say like really, but I've been like there like crazy, and we can get more into that. What were you gonna say? Did you have anything specific?
No. I mean, like I have like categories that I go through. I'm like, if I'm kind of bored and I want to scroll, I get on Facebook, click Marketplace, and then I have like a few recent searches, and it's always just tapping one of them, seeing what's new.
Yeah,
it's like gym equipment, Legos, and then I've been in the market for a golf cart for a while, so I just see if like a nice golf cart pops up.
Yeah,
that's basically it.
So as most people know, if they've been following the podcast,
let's go.
I've been in the search for a 4Runner.
That's right.
I finally found one. It wasn't on Facebook Marketplace, but I was on Facebook Marketplace all the time, messaged many people, and now I can finally sell my old one because I will still be with the car. Anyway.
Wait, why will you still be with the car?
With the 4Runner.
Did you ever officially announce that you
Yeah,
bought
I just
one?
did.
Did you just? I thought you were dancing around it. Did you?
No,
say
I just said.
Oh, okay.
It was like the first thing I said.
I must have zoned out. Congrats.
I will say this though. I don't know. When you had your first, was the Civic your first car?
No, I had an Acura TL.
That's right. I think I knew that. Was that used?
Yeah. I love that car.
When you bought it, were you kind of? Well, I don't know because your parents bought that for you, right?
surprised me with the Acura.
Right. Okay.
So it was like I think my dad bought it from a guy he worked with, maybe.
So you bought the Civic?
Yeah. So like my parents bought me the Civic, but I was there.
Okay.
So yeah, we're on the same page. Why do you ask?
The Honda was. Just keep going down the line.
The Pilot, my parents bought that. No.
Okay. Anyway,
our first Pilot we did.
That's true. I forgot about that car. Anyway, I was just gonna ask. So this is obviously a bigger purchase, and so I've been extremely paranoid about like little things I hear, or because like
on the new car.
Yes, because we've signed the papers. It's a done deal. Like any problems now are on me.
Yeah.
And I understand that obviously it feels very nice compared to an 06. And of course they detailed it and made it look all nice and everything. Yeah. But like it's still been driven for a couple years. So it's like more than a couple years. So it's like a little, I don't know. But I was going to ask if you had ever felt that, because right now I'm like,
well, no. Like that anxiety, you mean?
I guess.
Not with a car, but actually what pops in my mind, one time I bought a ski erg, which was like we got a stimulus check during COVID, and I bought that ski erg out there, and I bought it used, and I didn't save that much money, but everything was so hard to get at the time. Mm-hmm. I'd saved some money on a new one, but it was in good shape. And then after I bought it, I was like, well, crap, now I don't have any warranty on it and whatever. And it's held up and it's been good. It wasn't that big of a purchase like a car. But no, I mean, we bought the Civic when we bought it was new, and then the Pilot we bought was new. So, but I don't know. I do hate the whole car buying experience. Like, it's one of my least favorite things to do. You're like, oh, we could go look for like an hour or whatever, and then if you end up getting something, those chachas that work at car dealerships make it miserable. They make it so long. They make it like this game of this back and forth. I can't stand it.
This guy, so I ended up buying from, or I think I already said that, bought from a dealer. He was like pretty relaxed and like laid back. Obviously you never know if he was like,
bro, they always try to be like I'm on your side. I'm the cool guy.
Right. No, yeah, I understand. I just meant like I was with my dad, and so I talked a little bit, but it was mainly like ultimately I made the decision, and I kind of asked. There was at one point where he counter-offered our offer, and then I was like, he was like, I don't know. I'm not afraid to like be told no, because every time I would offer, he'd have to like call up his boss.
Bro, it's like freaking Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, it's literally, dude, literally.
Got just a shadowy figure standing behind some glass.
Literally, dude. He kept saying that. He's like, I'll have to call up the boss. I'm not afraid to say no. And I'm like, this is a small dealership, maybe the size of our house. Where is this guy sitting?
Camera pans. You're like, isn't that your boss sitting right there? He calls him.
He's just answering the phone like behind the corner. Yeah, I don't know. It honestly probably was, dude. There was like a little back room. Anyway, we had like asked. He counter offered, then we counter offered that, and then it ended up like I ended up buying it, but it wasn't like some insane deal. We got some money off, but like which that's the other thing. My dad was like, make sure you don't settle, and like I
settle on like what you want.
Settle in terms of like I just want to be done with the search, so I'm going to buy the car kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But and although I don't know, it wasn't like we didn't get a ton of money off. We got some money off, but we didn't get like a ton of money off. I've been looking for a car for 3-4 months now, and I know that's not a super long time if you just have a bunch of time, but like that was one of the things in my mental checklist where I was like, once I get this finished, I can take another step forward, whether that's looking towards like moving out or different things like that. And so I was like, I felt like I had been decently patient because I had been actively searching, not just like not really doing much, but like actively searching for 3 to 4 months. So I felt good about the purchase, but now I'm just like high alert, dude. Every little sound.
I'm sure it's fine.
Right.
You could always take it to Mike and he'll give it a once over.
Right, for sure. And that's probably what I'll end up doing. It's for right now for me, the frame Forerunners are like known to, you got to take care of the frame. Not because they're bad, but because they have the option of like beating them up and stuff. And a lot of people have them in the Midwest. Like we are like, I mean, we're kind of Midwest, but, so you just have to really watch the frame. And I was like, dude, I had those guys take so many pictures. I had them lifted up and like check the frame. And like, I was texting, Max, my cousin, and he sent it to his dad's mechanic. And I was like trying to make sure the frame's good, but because if you got a solid frame, like, you can basically build up from there. But anyway, sorry, I'm ranting.
Well, there's a sermon there.
What if we did that? What if that was a segment? Have you already said that for a segment?
The sermon ideas? Dude, I can hit you with one right now.
No, have you seen the segment? Have you seen the segments where I have to give you something and you have to preach a sermon on it right now? It's like a 30-second sermon.
No, but we could do that. Dude,
Are you prepared right now? 30-second sermon on frame. Like a good frame or a bad frame?
Well, I had an example.
Okay.
This is a good frame versus bad frame. No. Dude, the other day we were just driving. I have some crazy ideas while I'm driving. That movie idea, like different whatever.
Dude, we need to recircle on that movie idea. Sorry, keep going.
Anyways, we're just driving. This is like right when the weather was starting to turn. Megan and I are just in the car. And I'm like, I look out the window. Leaves are off the trees now.
Eerie feeling.
Because the leaves are off the trees, I look into the distance and I can see a house on the other side of the trees that I hadn't seen before. And I thought, isn't that such a good word that sometimes we have to go through the cold, dark days to be able to see what's on the other side?
That's a good word.
Do you know what I'm saying? When things are lush and beautiful and the sun is out, it almost clouds our vision of what is to come.
Wow. That's good.
Of what is to come.
You had to put the emphasis.
Yeah. But no, I just thought of that and I was just like, oh man, that was pretty good.
Like out of body experience.
And then Jesse and Ethan came over and I said it and they were like, that's the stupidest thing we've ever heard.
Have you seen those different instructors like speech? They go on to these like, I don't know if it's like a seminar or what, but they like speak in front of crowds and they kind of maybe it's just like, I don't even know what the word for it is. They teach like good presenting and like
public speaking.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I guess that's all it is. I thought there was a better term for, and maybe he's like not the guy I'm thinking of. I just see online, like Instagram, whatever.
Wait, who is he? It's not the sales guy, is it?
No, I think I know who you're talking about. No,
the guy that wears the super tight high shorts.
No,
and
no.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. No, I'm talking about this guy actually. Maybe it's just public speaking. I don't know what I was trying to think of, but he just goes to like different colleges, but it's like a big thing. It's not like a normal public speaking class. It's like really showing you how to like motivate people with your words, and which is like kind of like, I'm like kind of getting close to like manipulation. I don't know, but anyway.
Brainwash.
It's so funny because I watch these videos that just like as I'm scrolling, and he'll do stuff where he's like, okay, so you want to motivate someone? Okay, so if I'm talking like this and I say, as we look through the trees, we can see more things. He's like, but then I say, as we look through the trees, we can see more things. He's like, see how the difference, like he'll go
one takes me back to youth group.
He'll go, no, exactly. That's it. I think every single time.
Did he train every freaking youth pastor? Dude, honestly, now that I've noticed it so much, I get that they are much better public speakers than I am, and they are talented in that. But when they do that cadence, that's all I can freaking think about. It takes me out of the message.
I agree. Like, what are they to do instead?
I like the way you worded that sentence. What are they to do instead? They are to I don't know.
It sounded very
the best public speaking
intellectual,
is just
though.
when you can make it seem conversational, even when it's one way. And if I'm talking to you, I'm never talking in that cadence. I'm never talking in that cadence.
Okay, wait.
That's how
you didn't do it right there. You just slowed down every word. You didn't.
I try to get on stage and do it, and I just am like, I'm slowing every single word.
People are just like getting tired.
Like, he's malfunctioning. He's just slowing down everything. I don't know. I don't know what they are to do instead. Probably just try to not do that.
I only say that because I feel like I do appreciate if we're talking specifically someone speaking at a church or something, or in youth ministry or whatever, in ministry, I would say I do appreciate when someone kind of moves around, only because it helps me focus on them a little more. If they're like, when they're just stand behind a desk or whatever, like not podium. A desk, but a podium. Yeah. When they just stand behind something, or even just stand still and they're not in front of any, or like behind anything, just keeping my eyes in one spot kind of like, will get me into like a trance or something. But
I don't know though. I think one of the better messages I've listened to recently was that guy that came to our church and talked about trauma. I thought he was really good.
I thought he was really good too. But see, I literally thought about that as he was talking. He moved around the stage.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is just like me being immature, or having like a attention, like my attention span is not great or something, but like I rarely am locked in during a sermon. I just like can't, I don't know. I can't sit there and focus that long. Like I like singing and doing it, and I try to get a point out of the sermon, but like sitting there and just listening, it's just like I have a trouble with it. But I feel like that when I feel like the topic is just like very, I don't know, just like clear and very applicable, I felt like I was locked in.
Yeah, I've gotten better at it. I think about that sometimes. When I was younger, I was like, dude, this is the worst. I was like, I just have to sit here for 40 minutes or whatever. Like, it was so bad. But actually, growing up, past like when I was really young, sort of like I'd say like middle school. Around middle school, I was thinking like I want to be able to pay attention, but I physically can't. Like I was in this mental state of like, there has been multiple times where I've tried my absolute hardest to stay focused for that entire time, and I just physically felt like it was impossible.
Yeah.
And literally from probably 7th grade of middle school to now, it's been like a gradual increase of like now I still zone out a couple times, but I've been like now there's been multiple sermons where I'm able to lock in for the full time.
Yeah, I know. Well, sometimes it's
like
during like a message, I'll sit there and I'll think, and I'll be like, like I'm locked in for like 25 minutes, and then I'm like, they need to wrap this up, and this will be like such a potent message. And they go for like 10 more minutes where I'm like, too much fluff. You lost me. Like, I'm like, maybe, you could have had such a strong message and ended it, but it got stretched a little too long that I couldn't stay with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's probably just a me thing.
Our church tries to keep the message around the same time, like every time.
Here. I think there's a business idea.
Within the church?
What if we created a church?
Whoa.
You still have like a pastor. But the pastor never solo talks on stage. It's always a conversation on stage. So there's no sermons. It's like basically you're listening to a podcast where they read scripture and they conversate about the things versus you're sitting there like a classroom. Because I can listen to a podcast, but I can listen to a podcast easier than I can just sit and listen to a sermon. So maybe it's on stage and we're chilling like this and we still have a topic and whatever, but then when we read the scripture and we talk about it and whatever, it becomes a conversation about it versus I'm just presenting talking points.
I don't know. I mean, churches do that. I don't know if that's a business
Sometimes they
idea.
do panels, but I'm saying I never solo speak on stage if I'm the pastor.
You just never want to have like. So is the purpose you're always respond like it's
the
like
church is called the Godcast.
Gosh, dude.
Is that bad? I don't think that's bad. Right? It's like a play on podcast, but it's about God.
I don't like it.
No, the God Pod.
I don't know. Maybe sleep on that one and get back to me.
Are the sharts? Where are my sharts at?
Well, this is my thing. Do you sit? You're never just sitting, not doing anything else, and listening to a podcast.
You talking to me?
Yes.
No.
That is my point.
Wait.
So you're saying I can listen to a podcast, but you're saying you can't listen to a sermon without doing something else. But that's what you do with podcasts.
Right, but when I'm working on something and listening to a podcast, well, I guess if I'm like, maybe I'll miss some if I'm like working on work stuff, but like if I'm working on the nursery upstairs and doing stuff like that, where it's just kind of measuring whatever, I feel like I hear every word of that podcast. Like I'm still way listening to the podcast, even though I'm multitasking, doing something else.
Yeah, I'm saying
When I
think you could
sitting
do the same
listening to
thing
a
with a sermon.
I'm like,
That's the difference, though.
I'm
like-
saying I think if you put a sermon on while you were doing that, it would be the same thing.
Yeah.
right. Yes, and I did that last week because those guys were here working. And so I went up and I was cutting boards and doing stuff, and I had
Sure.
no, I had Travis's.
Right, because I did ask.
I had Travis's sermon on my phone, and I felt like I retained more of that than when I'm in the room,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's probably
So maybe I
true.
just need to get on my phone more during the service, or do something. Watch drywall videos while I'm listening.
Wait, what? No, you need to be like repairing the church as it's over the
Repairing
speakers.
it.
Yeah, you were saying you were like doing woodwork, right?
They're like, why does this guy bring a vacuum to church? I'm just out, just doing that while I listen.
repairing.
Just shooting nails into the walls.
Yes,
They're like,
that.
stop, please.
You're just in the back of the worship center. It's like, like there's a huge like nail gun.
Bang.
She's like, sorry, that's the only way he gets anything out of it.
I have another Shark Tank, but I need to preface it with a question.
Nada.
All right.
What is it?
Are you a subtitle guy in movies?
Sometimes.
That's kind of a non-answer.
Sometimes.
Okay. Would you like to elaborate on when the times are?
I can.
Okay.
Last night, hard munching on some crackers and peanut butter. Everyone else in the house was asleep.
Wait, pause. Your dad told me you ate an Oreo out of the used car lot guy's desk, and that's mega sus. Justice drives to Louisville to a used car dealership, buys a car. A guy offers him a celebratory Oreo out of his desk, and he ate it.
I can see how this sounds weird.
That's crazy.
This was the situation. This guy seemed like a nice guy, but
They always do.
no, they don't. I've talked to many dealers, dude. He had the new Post Malone Oreos.
Okay.
Actually, they actually seem insane. It's an Oreo with like peanut butter, chocolate, and honey. It's like all this stuff.
For some reason, that's Post Malone's thing.
Yeah, I have no clue. This guy has a pack of them, like half of them are eaten out of it. And it was like one of those like little mini packs
Yeah.
where there's like 3 sleeves.
Uh,
And he like mentioned them right as we walked in. And then like an hour later,
he's like, you play your cards right.
an hour later, once we ended up buying the car or something, he starts talking to us about something, and the Oreos come up again, and he pushed the Oreos towards us and asked if my dad or I wanted one, and there was just a moment of just silence, and it was so awkward, and I looked over at my dad, and my dad immediately just said, "No, I'm okay." And so it was almost like I felt bad for the guy. So I didn't want one. I'm always, everyone knows, maybe not everyone, but like I do this at our Bible study a lot. A bunch of our Bible study will make these like cookies and brownies and all that stuff. I'm always the one to turn it down just because I feel like I just eat so many random things of junk food all the time. So I'm like, I'm going to turn down just a random cookie or something if it's not like for dessert. I felt so bad for this guy in the moment. I don't know why I did. I just felt bad. It was just so awkward. It was just so awkward. So I was like, yeah, I'll try one. Yeah, okay. And so I grabbed one out, and it was good. But then I'm not gonna lie.
Over a 50% chance he pulled those out of a used car.
Hold on. I'm not gonna lie. After I ate the Oreo, I was like, frick, what is in that Oreo?
How long has that Oreo been out there? The only saving grace is that the Post Malone Oreos haven't been out that long.
Yeah, I was like, okay, first of all, eating an Oreo out of a car dealership dude's drawer was kind of sus. But Post Malone, you make a dang good Oreo.
Well, he doesn't make it for sure, but what would you have, since it was a Post Malone Oreo that you'd never tried, what if you had just taken a bite and it just tasted like straight poop? But you're like, I feel bad for the guy still.
Oh, I would have swallowed it.
You would have swallowed it.
If it just tasted like a bad Oreo? Or are you saying like it tastes like there's drugs inside?
I don't recognize these flavors.
Okay.
But maybe it's just Post Malone.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
Are you saying like the flavor is bad? Because it was a new flavor,
you wouldn't have been able to recognize what was in there.
No, I could have told you if something didn't taste like artificial sweetener.
Do you think that he bought those, or do you think they got a car in, like a new car, and he found them in the trunk? And it was just like, these
You're
are...
You're an idiot. They're not a rental like place.
No, but they get new cars in to sell.
Yeah, and then they like detail them and
clean them out.
Bro, that guy bought them. 100% that guy bought them.
Can't be 100%.
100% that guy bought them.
Are you a subtitle guy?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sorry. We did get where did we go off on that tangent?
You were like, sometimes last night I was munching hard on crackers.
Why are you talking like that?
That's what you said.
I know that's what I said. Why are you talking like that? I was. Okay, so for example, last night I was munching on a lot of crackers with peanut butter on them.
Yeah.
I was watching the 5th episode of Severance. Stay tuned for talk about that. Wait, have you guys even watched it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Stay tuned for stuff on that. Anyway, everyone was asleep. I guess the sound of the crunch was just so loud that I couldn't turn it up loud enough to where I felt like it was soft enough for the people upstairs sleeping. Staying with me? So there was one time where somebody said something in the show and I didn't catch it, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. So then I flipped the subtitles on. But if I can do it without it, I'm going to say no. I'm not like a black and white where it's like I either always have it on or I always have it off. I'm not like that. Which maybe that's controversial, not being black and white.
The nice thing about the Apple TV is if you back up, it will play subtitles for like the next 20 seconds. Because it's like assuming that you didn't hear what they said, and then it kicks them back off.
Okay, that's what happened then, because there was literally the time when what I just said, there was like a phrase that I didn't hear. I backed it up just to hear what it said, and this was before I turned on the subtitles. And there were subtitles. I was like, wait, did I turn those on? And then they went off, and I was like, wait, I need them. So I turned them on.
Yeah.
Did you say you were watching Severance?
Yeah.
Was the thing you didn't hear when the guy with the really deep voice was talking?
Yes.
In his performance review?
No, he was talking to Helly.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the beginning when he was talking to Helly.
Okay. Well, we were watching The Princess Bride. Similarly, we were watching The Princess
Bride. Yeah, that
Bride.
was really like audio mess up or something. That was.
You've seen The Princess Bride, right?
I like know of it, but I don't think.
Oh, bro, it's a classic. But they have like Andre the Giant in it, and he has like such a deep voice you can't understand what he's saying. But when we were eating popcorn, Lacey was over here, and they were both like, Megan and Lacey were like, just turn the subtitles on. And so I was like, no. And so I would try to just like tell them what he had said after. So I was like repeating what he would say. But I was like, do not turn the subtitles on, because the minute you turn subtitles on, that's all I can look at. I can't watch the movie if the subtitles are on, because I just feel like I'm like reading every word. I can't help it. I don't know. So I was like, do not turn the subtitles on. Business idea, product idea. We create glasses similar to a 3D movie, but they're more technologically advanced, where people can wear them. It could be in a theater or at home. You put on your glasses, and it has the subtitles at the bottom for you to see, while nobody else has to see it if they don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, those are invented.
Those are invented?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I said I thought that was a thing.
I don't think it's not like it's not just for subtitles.
Subtitle glasses
for movies. Okay,
no, like I think
you're
they
not
might
gonna
have
find
that,
it like that.
Like theaters have some type of
AI smart screen. Glasses.
Like what I'm saying is, I don't know if there's a pair of glasses that's only for that, but like I'm pretty sure like the Ray-Ban Meta stuff has something like that for people who are deaf and like
stuff whatever.
Like that. So Sharks ain't biting on that crap.
Sharks ain't biting on that crap.
That been done before, for real.
I don't think so. Okay, well let's.
How'd you even get past the first cut to get on the show with that idea? we talk to our producers.
I've spammed 100 ideas over the course of this show. You haven't brought me one. You haven't brought one idea to the Sharks.
I am the Sharks.
No, we're all Sharks.
Then why you always be asking if the Sharks are biting? Yeah.
Let's talk a little Severance, and then we'll get to another.
Let's talk Severance.
Make it a good one this week, Megan. For the Get to Know the Bros. So we'll be talking about Severance, the show, up through season 2, episode 5. So if you don't want it spoiled, don't listen.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling. Just turn the volume down, like and subscribe, drop a comment.
Blake, do you have any hot takes for...
Well, since we last spoke, I just would like to formally say I was right. That Helly's Audi was down there.
Have we not spoken since then?
Not on the pod.
That's amazing. Okay, yeah. That episode was absurd. Or I'm talking about the 4th episode.
Yeah.
4th episode was amazing. Oh, yeah. We texted a ton. We could literally just read our text messages.
Yeah.
Blake, Megan, and I were texting at like midnight one night, back and forth, just going crazy. Because
it was like the night that episode came out.
Yes, it was. The 4th episode is amazing. The actors were correct in saying that episode would be really good and that we would like it.
I didn't get a ton out of episode 5. I think it's interesting. I think so here's my big questions coming. Here's my big questions now with everything we know. What is the project that they're wanting him to complete? I think it has something to do around like some kind of consciousness or something with Miss Casey and him, because they need Mark S as an integral part to finish the project. So it has to have something to do with his wife also being down there and figuring that out and whatever. Now, my other questions are like, who is Miss Wong? Is she some kind of clone? They had an interaction in the last episode where it seemed like she was like her brain was like developing. Now I get that she's young, but she was like, "Can I ask a question?" And then she did a statement. And he's like, "That's not a question."
Yeah, I feel like Miss whatever her. I don't know if she has a huge piece in the story, but if she does, it's definitely something of what you just said. I think Miss Wong is in some way maturing, or if her brain is doing something a bit different, whether that's kind of, maybe it's not, I want to say reintegrating. It's not reintegrating, but maybe she's just becoming like impatient or stubborn with the way he's running things, Mr. Milchick, because that in the whole episode, she acted out of character from what we've seen her act, I feel like.
Yeah. And I don't think, I kind of feel like Miss Huang is not severed. I feel like she has been down there her entire life, potentially.
I like that theory. I like that theory a lot.
And then my other question is obviously like they keep teasing this export elevator, and then we saw the guy take these like surgical tools down there that he got from O&D. So it's like, what is that? I don't know. Now, the theory that is interesting to me.
Did Miss Casey go down the export elevator?
She did. We saw her go down.
Right. So I'm saying if Miss Casey went down the elevator export, what necessarily do you think that is then? Because he took surgical tools down there. Were you implying that it was something with like Miss Wong being down here forever? Was that like some sort of like hospital type thing?
I don't know. I don't know what.
Because why would she go down there?
I'm interested if they're like trying to.
They're like babies down
develop some kind of consciousness or whatever. Another interesting thing, which is kind of far-fetched, but it's like, why is this a coincidence, is they talked about Dieter Egan, the brother of Kier that died, and my buddy sent me that Dieter Egan is an anagram for AI generated. You can take all the same letters and make AI generated with Dieter Egan.
What? Is that a stretch or no?
I don't know.
I don't know. I felt like it was a stretch, but maybe not.
Why is it true?
We should take Megan Logston. What can you make out of it?
I don't know.
Iron Man.
Iron Man what?
Okay, show me the eye.
Imagine though, like it was just like that simple. Like just like
could make anything. And then the other thing that I think is interesting is with him reintegrating. I think Ethan actually pointed this out to me, and I think it might be true. Towards the end of this last episode, when he gets up and walks away from his desk, he gets in the elevator, and Milchick comes and gets in his face. I think that was Mark's Audi. Because I think he transitioned to his Audi when he got up, flipped the computer off.
I disagree.
Wait, hold on.
Because then he just was like, he was his like Audi sarcastic self, where he was like, the book is called whatever BS, praise Kier, and then left. Like, I think he might have been his Audi, because prior to that, Annie Mark, that whole episode, had been trying to be compliant with them and saying like, hopefully the funeral doesn't take all day, and like doing all this and trying to just like be more compliant with Milchick, and then all of a sudden he like cussed in his face and stuff.
No, he cussed at him.
And then
he cussed at him in the beginning of the episode. He acts
surprised when Milchick told him, you had sex with Helena at the Ortbo. He acted like he had not known that. Like that, like Mark's Audi obviously wouldn't have known.
No, he wasn't acting like he didn't know it.
Didn't.
Okay, I disagree.
I strongly disagree.
The reason why I disagree, I mean, for that, Mark acted like it wasn't that he didn't know. He was like, how do you know? I think.
Yeah, it was more like that.
And then, but in terms of, I think the elevator scene was super cool. I think episode 5 was more of a, episode where we're trying to understand everything, like the feelings, everything going on without seeing directly into his brain. Whereas I feel like most of the episodes were kind of like inside everything. We're getting not necessarily all the answers, but a lot of the puzzle pieces. But this one was very just like, oh, Mark is acting weird. Helly's back, but things are weird, that kind of thing. Mark obviously was trying to comply, at least it seemed that way. He was very like abrupt, probably because he knows what he did with Helena and not Heliar. But I think he didn't turn back into his Audi when he got up from the computer. But when he got up from the computer, there was like a switch in his brain that was kind of bringing him back to reality and kind of like being fed up with it. So in my mind, episode 5 was like him getting over a roadblock of like,
maybe
I feel like we're not getting there. He felt like things were starting to get better. He realizes it's not. He has a lot of problems in that. That was all of episode 5. And then him breaking through that barrier was basically getting back in Mr. Milchick's face as Mr. Milchick gets in his face.
Yeah, he's being like that because when he yells at Helly and he's like, they know everything she told them. Basically, he's like, everything we've been doing is all a pawn. I'm just a pawn.
Yeah.
He's like, this is all worthless. And that's why he's acting like that whole episode. And then, I think when Milchick gets in his face, he's finally like, I'm fed up with all this, because he thought, oh, we're playing them. We're going to sneak around and do it. And then like now all of that was for nothing is what he feels.
Do you think that he will get wise to it? Like, do you think that Mark will keep working on that file and complete it because he's at like 85.6% or whatever? Or do you think they'll get wise? Like, what's it called?
Cold Harbor. Cold Harbor.
Cold Harbor.
Yeah.
Do you think that do you think we learn about it because he completes it and it does whatever they want? Or do you think he starts to rebel and won't complete the file?
I mean, I don't know. I think it might be one of those things where Cold Harbor is going to get up to like 98, 99%, and then there's like a crazy rebellion or something. But I also think it could be something where they've hinted at it being this huge thing. In fact, one of the first times we've heard it outright that big when that dude says it'll be like one of the greatest things of mankind or something. What does he say? He says something like that.
Oh, for the planet or something. Like this will be one of the greatest things for the planet. Yeah. You'll be involved in leading that.
Yeah, he's talking to Milchick. He says something like that. But like, so it could be something where they've talked about it being so huge where like something's completed and like it hits that 100% and it builds it up to kind of be another hit at you of like conflict, like we lost kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then it will bring it back.
I also think this is interesting, and I don't know if we talked about this last time, but so going against what I said, devil's advocate of like maybe it wasn't his Audi in the elevator, is that he says praise Keir sarcastically, and I don't even know if Mark's Audi would know that Keir Egan was a person.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
He does know
the
Keir
whole
Egan.
company is. Yeah. He's got his portrait in the lobby.
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of too.
Yeah.
He knows Keir.
So
he knows
I'm
the
very
Egan
interested in why is the whole region named Keir? Because they live in Keir. It's like their township.
Well, it's like
and
a
it's
campus.
All owned by. No, but even their housing, they're in like the
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like he knows. Like in the first season, his sister and him talk about like him living in the housing. Like it's almost like
I know, but the whole thing, like where they all where Irving lives, he has the map.
There,
it says,
Bert lives there. They all live there, and they don't have neighbors. They live in Keir in like little details, like when they do an overhead shot leaving Dylan's apartment, like the driveway thing is like a drop. Like
it looks like the Lumen.
I know. I saw that. That was super cool.
And then like we had mentioned it the last time, where Irving pulls out the map and it says map of Kier region.
Kier
so like
Township
the whole
or something.
no, it's region.
Region, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, yeah. So I haven't thought about that a
which
ton.
Which made me think that like what I was thinking was that what if Kier wasn't a real person and it was just this area that they were so familiar with that they had their god down there be named Kier because it had this familiarity already of something they've always known, but maybe not. Maybe the Kier family, like maybe they just named the whole region after him because of how powerful he is. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to see more on who he really was, which is bad because I feel like he gave us a little bit about that in season 1, or a decent amount.
Well, they went to the perpetuity one, right? But I'm like, was any of that even real? Or
right? What'd you guys, Megan? Do you remember what the main thing they said about Kier in the perpetuity ring?
Well, they didn't talk too much about
perpetuity.
They talked some about
gosh,
Kier. I mean, it's just he was like, he's the founder of Lumen. He was the first CEO. They talked through all this. These are all the CEOs. They have all those like wax figures of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he just supposedly was like a nobody who came up with these ideas that have bettered the planet so well. But we don't know.
So that's what it was.
We still don't know what exactly. They don't give anything away of what exactly he did. He worked in a factory.
But they said he came up with ideas to better the planet.
Yeah, they say that he changed the world.
Right. So I think that's what deterred me in season 1. Not deterred me, but kind of like let my mind rest on the whole God thing. Maybe I'm just being ignorant, but me going... I don't know. If I'm just being ignorant, it makes sense. But me watching these episodes and not constantly realizing that this is like a cult or religion is kind of crazy, I guess, because you guys talk about that a lot. And this is apparently their God. And I was never kind of on that realm of thinking.
Oh, for sure, though.
I was on. No, I understand it now.
Cobell says like our purpose is to serve Kier, and they say praise Kier, and they have like worship song about him.
Well, I thought it was like I shouldn't have said not a cult. I was on more of the. I don't know.
Their handbooks are their scriptures.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
They have like
it's just a cult. It's not. I don't know that he's they basically look at him as their leader and
I knew that. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't have said not a cult because I did think about it as a cult a little bit in season 1, but I guess I'm saying more of a God figure. They view him
as a God figure because there's no one above him, whereas like in a cult, like if I think of like the Branch Davidians from like the Waco thing, he just claimed to be like this figure that had more direct access to God. So there was still a layer above him where like they act like Kier's like it.
Right. Well, I think part of the reason why I'm bringing this up is I'm pretty sure somebody said something in the episode about Kier being God.
I don't know. But
you don't remember anything?
In this episode?
Either 4th or 5th. I just was like, I'm pretty sure they do. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I remember.
I think it is a cult because I do I think that
it is a cult.
It is. I'm saying it's more about what they're trying to achieve through Cold Harbor and doing this stuff, whether it's like mind control or cloning or whatever it ends up being, than it is actually believing in like this crap that they're spewing about Kier being this all being whatever.
Right.
Because so like not even Helly or Milchick or any of them actually believe that stuff. Cobell seemed to worship him, but then they all act like she was like a Satanist. So
yeah, I guess it doesn't even matter because that's kind of what I was like trying to think. If this guy's a god, then the cult thing is, I don't know. I guess it makes sense if there's like religion within the cult. But I thought it was like a separate thing. Like if it's a cult, it's a cult. if they're worshiping.
I think it's a
goddess,
cult. I just don't know. It doesn't. I don't think Helly believes it, and she's so close to it that I'm
right.
Like,
okay. So to that point, in episode 5, why was Helena at the table with Natalie and the older guy with the super deep voice? And that's awful that I don't know his name.
I don't know.
Do we know his name?
Tattoo.
They said it when they said he's ready to meet with you, but I don't remember what it was.
I'm also like, who's the board? Are they the board? Natalie and that guy, or is the board?
No, because
Helly's
Natalie's
dad?
always
No, I think the board is her dad. Yeah.
probably. Okay. So anyway, in episode 5, when Helena is at the table with Natalie and that guy, why does she act like she has no power to them when she is Kier's daughter?
She's not Kier's daughter. She's whatever his name's daughter. His name is Jaime, I think.
Oh, frick.
His name's
Jaime
Jane.
Egan.
Oh, frick.
Kier is her ancestor. Kier Egan.
Frick.
What do you mean, oh frick? Kier would be like 1,000 years old.
Kier.
I thought it was like the
He
generation.
died in 1939.
No, I know, but I thought it was like the generation it keeps like going. Like there's a next one in line.
Yeah.
Right, and her dad.
Her dad
like,
is the
Kier
current
was like
the one we
CEO.
saw. I
Kier
thought
was like her dad's great grandfather or something.
Oh, geez, I'm an idiot. I thought it was like they were all like name. I thought it was like the next Kier though.
No, Kier was
Kier
a
is his
person.
name. Yeah.
Okay. It's not like Caesar.
Gosh, well, never mind. But still, I guess on that fact, even though I was wrong about that, why I feel like she should have more power than them because she's related in
Yeah,
like,
but I
the
guess they're
bloodline.
claiming that they're answering to the board. That's where we don't know who the board is, and it's obviously like this big, powerful thing everyone's afraid of.
Well, they're saying they're answering to the board and to her father because she said, "What does my father say about this?" And he said he's on.
I don't think it's her father that's the board. I don't think that's a big enough payoff of them trying to hold this secret.
I'm not saying. I don't think it's just him. I think he's on it.
They
like,
say
the board has to be like just like a consciousness of their ancestors or something.
Yeah, I know. Natalie, I think it's Natalie says when they're in that meeting, she said, or no, I think it's the guy actually, says we have decided to spare the information from your father, like the information of what happened with Helen almost being drowned. That's when I was saying like that doesn't make sense to me because she's that guy's daughter, and so she can go to him whenever.
She'd be their boss.
Yeah,
I don't know. Natalie's position is interesting. I'm not sure about it. She also knows that they are listening to literally everything they say at all times because she wouldn't even respond to Milchick about the paintings again.
No,
Yeah.
so I think she's always wearing that earpiece, and that's how she talks to like the board or whatever.
is the board just
I
always
think
in
they're
Natalie's
in
ear?
her head or like in her ear, like in terms of like it maybe being a consciousness or whatever of the past, because I always keep thinking back to, we're probably talking about this for too long. I always keep thinking back to
No, we're good.
her, like the one scene we have with her father or whatever, where he says, and then you'll get to sit next to me at my revolving.
Mm-hmm.
And that word revolving is like a weird word to where you could think like, oh, maybe he's just saying like when you're going to be CEO, but it's like revolving to me is not like it seems like he's also going somewhere.
He's becoming like an eternal consciousness.
I don't know. And so that's where I'm like, well, so then is there like then it's like the AI thing. So is there like some type of like these past CEOs, we've put their consciousness in this thing and Natalie is connected to it in some way?
What if they are trying to capture people like Miss Casey and like instead of kill them, like transition their consciousness, like a past ancestor's consciousness into that person so that they can live forever and then take the consciousness, put it into another younger person. They can essentially live forever by transitioning their consciousness into new people all the time.
Yeah, or if people want to stick with the clone thing, then they
like
can make
that
clones
weird
or whatever.
worm in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that would always just inhabit a new person and then it, like the evil person.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That could be it because like, I don't know.
Yeah, the consciousness theory is probably the one that I'm looking or thinking of most when they ever talk about the board, because it's.
You think it's like conscious, just like the brain. What if Natalie is not severed, but instead of being severed, they have like put the board's thoughts into her head instead of actually communicating with anyone? She can just like hear their voices or something in her head, or she has a part of her brain that hears that, where she's like,
nah, because she has an earpiece.
I don't know if it's that far. I think it's the earpiece.
Yeah, I think it's the earpiece too, because I think Natalie, what Megan was saying, I think Natalie could just always have the board in her ear at all times. They're basically controlling her like if they were to implant something in their brain, but it's just because she has this earpiece on 24/7.
Yeah.
And so it could be something where every single conversation she has, they feed her the answer that she has to give. Like they're talking through her, maybe.
What if crazy plot twist, we get to the end and it's like an actual board of people and Rickon's on it?
Oh my, Rickon would be crazy
Rickon's
on that.
on it?
They're just like, wait, Rickon's on this?
That'd be a crazy plot twist.
He doesn't even, yeah, but Rickon wouldn't even know what's going on. He's still just like thinking his book gonna blow up.
I saw someone say, which is kind of a crazy theory, but that they think that Rickon wrote the fourth appendix. Like that they find on the Ortbo with the story about Dieter Egan.
What happened to
crazy.
him?
Because they're like,
did he get brainwashed and then like think he had never written a book before?
I don't know how it would have, but they were like, because he's working on this stuff, for Lumen
now,
and they were like,
but I thought that was just because his book accidentally got down there and it had such a strong response to it.
It is, yeah. I'm not saying I agree with it. I just saw somebody was just saying that.
Do you think anything's gonna happen with that? Because we keep going back to it and how it's like a problem.
Something is gonna happen with that.
What's a problem? How he's writing the new text for them?
Yeah, well, Mark's sister is like obviously against it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But he's just wanting to do it because it's so much money and whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. He thinks he's whatever. All right. We got to wrap this up. Megan, you got to get to know the bros for us.
I do, but I feel like they're good, and I feel like we lose people by this time.
Well, that's the price we pay.
Like, I feel like we should do the get to know the bros before we talk about Severance.
Next time we will.
Oh, you feel like we lose people on Severance?
Yeah, like people, if they haven't watched it or whatever, then they'll click away.
All of our viewers watch Severance because it's one of the best shows out right now. So.
Right. Yeah. All right. Go on with it.
Okay. Yeah, go on with it.
Well, I guess we could clip it as like a reel or something.
Go on,
if it's really good. I'm really hyping it up.
Oh yeah, this better be the best one we've ever heard.
It's not a good question. I just meant it could have like a good conversation.
How would you spend $1 million? We're like, we've done it. All right, go ahead.
On an average day, how many pigeons do you think you could reasonably carry?
Why was it on an average day? What if it was like a rainy day?
I don't know.
On an app, like at one time or over the course of
how
a
many
day?
Pigeons?
How many
at one
pigeons can
time.
I carry?
At one time.
How many pigeons could you carry? Wait, it's an average day.
I think endless amounts.
What? No, at one time.
Because if we linked together, they would be carrying me at some point.
Whoa!
I'm covered in pigeons, and then we have an as tall as the universe is.
As tall as the universe.
And we fly away.
Okay.
I don't know if I
will say I've had one pigeon by me and been pooped on by it. So that many pigeons.
I don't know if I can revoke my words from the past, but I revoke saying you're an idiot because that was a freaking solid answer.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, infinite is the answer because they just form a basket around you. Do the ones that are how are the ones that are carrying you, like the ones that are actually picking you up, are they just all holding you by their little feet, or
they link their own feet together to create a nest that I would crest in, and then we would go up from there.
Crest?
They would create, as you said, some sort of basket shape that I would nestle into, and I would hold as many pigeons as I can in there.
Wait, you're also holding pigeons?
We create a line of pigeons where
it all line. It's like
their little baby pigeon legs get tired. I send one in from out the nest to go in, and it's a constant rotation of pigeons so that their little pigeon legs can rest slightly. And they're going like this, and then we go up from there.
That sounds really nice. Yeah, biggest problem though is the poop. That basket is a poop magnet.
Yeah, for sure. And then we just dude, this made me think of this.
You have a cleaning crew and everything? They're all pigeons though.
So much pigeon poop, but then there's like you've been up there too, so maybe there's some. This made me think of this. Dude,
you're like,
there was a guy
locked in. We're going for the record. We're going. They're like, there's too much poop.
This isn't even pigeon poop. This guy on Facebook in our HOA posted this week and was like, he's starting a dog poop pickup, like business where he'll come, weekly and pick up the dog poop in your backyard.
What? So that sounds like a Shark Tank.
He just well, it exists, so I'm glad I didn't say it. He said that he said he had 10 free slots available to try out. And then, so I'm like, Megan, scoop up one of them free slots, pun intended. I'm like, just get a free one. We don't, see what it costs, but we don't have to do it. We'll just get one free thing.
Crazy.
She messaged him. He said he, of course, had already filled up the free slots. I don't buy it, but.
So you still buy one?
No, okay. But we were joking about like that would be an awesome prank of just like prank? He knows we have like corgis, and then there's just like piles of human poop out there. Like there's a little corgi turd, and then just like logs. He would just be like, he's like, see if he could even differentiate.
He's like, he walks up to like the back door, you walk out, you're like, oh, must have been a wolf or something.
Must have been a coyote. Sees me on the camera with the night vision camera, just out there just squeezing one out.
He's like, do you know what this is? You're like, Ma, there's some coyotes out here occasionally.
He's like, oh my gosh, it'd be so funny for a free consultation. He comes by just to quote it, and there's just mounds of poop.
What if it was something where it wasn't just...
I've never seen this much poop in my whole life.
It wasn't just mounds, but it was like over years, and it was just like one big pile in your backyard. It's like, this is going to be multiple quotes.
Man. Anyways, I think we answered that question with the pigeons.
Yeah.
All right. This has been a long ep, but we enjoyed it. Episode 57. Like and subscribe. See ya.